Okay, hope it is audible and visible to all. Respond. Okay, fine. So now in today's class, we are going to continue. So first I will open the syllabus. So in the previous session, we have started with rapid thermal processing and ion implantation. So here in this process, we have discussed about so in rapid thermal processing, we have discussed the process of oxidation, right? So here we have compared this rapid thermal processing with thermal oxidation, and we have proved that rapid thermal processing requires less temperature to perform oxidation comparing with thermal oxidation, which requires a temperature around 800 to 1000 degrees Celsius. So then we have started with the next topic, that is ion implantation. So in this topic, we have compared this with the diffusion, and here in this ion implantation, again we require the temperature is around 100 degrees Celsius, where in diffusion we need around 800 to 1100 degrees Celsius. So again, ion implantation is used just to apply the impurities, the impurities are doped into the type of substrate, either it is p-type or n-type. Here ion implantation and diffusion process are same. The only change is that it requires less temperature, but it requires more temperature. So that's the change. Hence it requires more energy and cost. It requires less energy and cost, and diffusion needs more energy and more cost. So now in the next topic, so which is chemical vapor deposition. Okay. So now here we are going to discuss again the alternative option for thermal oxidation and rapid thermal processing. So here chemical vapor deposition is nothing but, so it is also a process of oxidation, so which is used it is also a process of oxidation, but which uses a less temperature comparing with the rapid thermal processing. So now here we are going to discuss how chemical vapor deposition is more advanced comparing with rapid thermal processing, because in rapid thermal processing we only need 100 degrees Celsius temperature with a particular furnace and the lamps, which creates a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and performs oxidation. Whereas in chemical vapor deposition, we are going to discuss so what is the process is used and how it is advanced comparing with rapid thermal processing. So that is what we are going to discuss, and then we will move on to the photolithography, and then we are going to discuss etching. So these are the three concepts we are going to discuss today, which are very small topic. Only I am going to explain the concept. Okay, the theory is already given in the notes. Okay, so now I will start with the chemical vapor deposition. So now, here this is the topic, we call it as chemical vapor deposition. In short, it is called as CVD. Okay. So now, in this, there are two processes where we can use chemical vapor deposition. So one is low pressure chemical vapor deposition, and another one plasma enhanced chemical vapor deposition. So two types of chemicals are used here to perform oxidation. Again, the intention is that to perform oxidation. So that's it. We want oxidation, so that Si is converted into SiO2. So now, so look at this diagram now. So what it consists of? So first we will concentrate on the diagram. So what it consists of? So here, so first we will concentrate on the outer body. We call it as a furnace or furnace tube. Okay, this is a furnace tube where the entire process will carry out. And then this is a silica tube. So this is a silica tube which is shown here. So in this tube, it allows us to flow the gas, or we can pump the water into the furnace tube, or we call it as a chamber. And then we have heating elements which are shown here. These are the heating elements. We call them as heaters, which are necessary to generate a temperature. Okay. And another important thing, the temperature generated by these heaters is less than 100 degrees Celsius. That is another important point comparing with rapid thermal processing. Because in rapid thermal processing, it requires at least 100 degree, but here this process requires less than 100 degree temperature. So that is one advantage comparing with rapid thermal processing. So now the remaining components which are used in this chemical vapor deposition are a silicon wafer, which is shown here. So this is a silicon wafer, and these are the wafers which are placed on the silica. So this is a mass of silica. On the surface of this mass of silica, we have placed the wafers of silicon. Okay. So now we will discuss the process, how it performs oxidation. And here the example where the process shown is based on low pressure chemical vapor deposition technique. So there is another one also. So this is not in your syllabus. So that's why we are only concentrating on low pressure chemical vapor deposition. So now how it performs oxidation. So here these are the heaters which are necessary to generate a required temperature but less than 100 degrees Celsius. So here the gas is used is nothing but silicon hydroxide or silicon hydride. So we call it as SiH4. So this is a chemical gas which is used to perform oxidation. That's why we call it as chemical. And it is termed in terms of gas, hence it is called as vapor. So when the gas flows into the silica tube, we call this as a silica tube. Okay. So it will react with the oxygen present in this silica tube. Okay. Once it reacts with the oxygen present in this silica tube, it forms a silicon dioxide layer on the surface of wafer. So this is one wafer here. So on the surface of this wafer, okay, at this side, it will form a silicon dioxide layer. And one most advantage is that it won't consume any silica part from the wafer. in the previous methods, the silicon is went through the process of oxidation, and a particular amount of silicon is consumed to provide SiO2. So that will happen in the previous process, like rapid thermal processing or thermal oxidation. There, if I take a one silica like this, so here the part of that silica will be consumed, and then it performs one silicon dioxide layer. But here in this, without consuming any silica from the wafer, because it is already there in the gas itself. In the gas, we already have Si, so it will just react with the O2 present in this silica tube and forms a silicon dioxide layer on the silicon wafer. So we can say that there is one more advantage of this chemical vapor deposition is that without consuming any silicon, it forms a silicon dioxide layer. Okay, so thus it completes oxidation process. So using gas, we can perform dry oxidation. So if the requirement is used for wet oxidation, then we can use a pump which provides the water into the silica tube and performs oxidation. But so when I use a water, so here it consumes the silica. So that is the difference here between the chemical vapor using gas and the water. So here the required temperature is provided by the heaters which are placed on the tube or on the body of this furnace. So this is about a chemical vapor deposition, so which is used just to perform oxidation with two advantages. One, without consuming the silicon which performs oxidation, and another, it requires less temperature comparing with the previous process. The same thing is explained here. I hope you guys go through this. This is the explanation, starts from here. Okay, what I have explained, and here the reaction which takes place in the chamber is, this is the gas SiH4 which combines with O2, that's a chemical reaction, and forms SiO2, and the remaining gas will be 2H2, that is hydrogen, which is not required. Later it will be removed. So this is the chemical reaction takes place in the chamber or in the silica tube. This is the tube where it takes that process. So now this is about chemical vapor deposition. Okay, there are some advantages which I have explained, so which is given in the notes also. So go through that advantage. Okay, so now so this is about a chemical vapor deposition, a very small topic just to perform oxidation. Hope it is clear for everyone. Yes.